Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying our germcation. I miss you guys, but I figured this was a good time for me to read to you. So this is a Shel Silverstein book called A Light in the Attic, and I'm going to read a bunch of poems to you, so I hope you enjoy it. A Light in the Attic. There's a light on in the attic, though the house is dark and shuttered. I can see it flicker and flutter, and I know what it's about. There's a light on in the attic. I can see it from the outside, and I know you're on the inside, looking out. How many? How much? How many slams in an old screen door? Depends on how loud you shut it. How many slices in a bread? Depends on how thin you cut it. How much good inside a day? Depends on how good you live 'em. How much love inside a friend? Depends on how much you give 'em. The next poem is called Moon Catchin' Net. I made me a moon catchin' net, and I'm going hunting tonight. I'll run along swinging it over my head and grab for that big ball of light. So tomorrow just look at the sky, and if there's no moon you can bet I found what I've sought, and I finally caught the moon in my moon catchin' net. But if the moon's still shining there, look close underneath and you'll get a clear look at me in the sky swinging free with a star in my moon catchin' net. Hammock. Grandma sent the hammock. The good Lord sent the breeze. I'm here to do the swinging. Now who's gonna move the trees? How not to have to dry the dishes. If you have to dry the dishes, such an awful boring chore. If you have to dry the dishes, instead of going to the store. If you have to dry the dishes and you drop one on the floor, maybe they won't let you dry the dishes anymore. The next poem is called Stop, Thief. Policeman, policeman, help me, please. Someone went and stole my knees. I chase him down, but I suspect my feet and legs just won't connect. Oh, there's so many here. I am going to have to skip a few. I'm going to pick out some of my favorite ones. Let's see. Rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, we'd travel all over the land. We'd play and we'd sing and we'd wear spangly things if we were a rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band and we were up there on the stand, the people would hear us and love us and cheer us. Hooray for that rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, then we'd have 1,000,000 fans. We'd giggle and laugh and sign autographs if we were a rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, the people would all kiss our hands. We'd be millionaires and have extra long hair if we were a rock and roll band. But we ain't no rock and roll band. We're just 7 kids in the sand with homemade guitars and pails and jars and drums of potato chip cans. Just 7 kids in the sand, talking and waving our hands and dreaming and thinking, oh, wouldn't it be grand if we were in a rock and roll band. Let's see. Here comes summer, here comes summer, chirping robin, budding rose. Here comes summer, gentle showers, summer clothes. Here comes summer, whoosh, shiver, there it goes. The Dragon of Grindley Grun. I'm the dragon of Grindley Grun. I breathe fire as hot as the sun. When a knight comes to fight, I toast him on sight like a hot, crispy cinnamon bun. When I see a fair damsel go by, I just sigh a fiery sigh, and she's baked like a tater. I think of her later, with a romantic tear in my eye. I'm the dragon of Brindley Grun, but my lunches aren't very much fun, for I like my damsels medium rare, and they always come out well done. Messy room. Now, I wonder if all of you have a messy room. I know Ben certainly does. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. His underwear is hanging on the lamp. His raincoat is there in the overstuffed chair, and the chair is becoming quite mucky and damp. His workbook is wedged in the window. His sweater's been thrown on the floor. His scarf and one ski are beneath the TV, and his pants have been carelessly hung on the door. His books are all jammed in the closet. His vest has been left in the hall. A lizard named Ed is asleep in his bed, and his smelly old sock has been stuck to the wall. Whosever room this is should be ashamed. Donald or Robert or Willie or... Huh? You say it's mine? Oh dear, I knew it looked familiar. The other poem is called Blame. I wrote such a beautiful book for you, about rainbows and sunshine and dreams that come true. But the goat went and ate it. You knew that he would. So I wrote you another one, fast as I could. Of course, it could never be nearly as great as that beautiful book that silly goat ate. So if you don't like this new book I just wrote, blame the goat. Let's see. Snake problem. It's not that I don't care for snakes, but oh, what do you do when a 24-foot python says, I love you? Bear in there. There's a polar bear in our frigid air. He likes it 'cause it's cold in there. With his seat in the meat and his face in the fish and his big hairy paws in the buttery dish, he's nibbling the noodles, he's munching the rice, he's slurping the soda, he's licking the ice. And he let out a roar if you open the door, and it gives me a scare to know he's in there, that polary bear in our frigidy air. Let's see. Unscratchable itch. There is a spot that you can't scratch, right between your shoulder blades, like an egg that just won't hatch. Here you set and there it stays. Turn and squirm and try to reach it. Twist your neck and bend your back. Hear your elbows creak and crack. Stretch your fingers. Now you bet it's going to reach. No, that won't get it. Hold your breath and stretch and pray. Only just an inch away. Worse than a sunbeam you can't catch is that one spot that you can't scratch. Squishy touch. Everything King Midas touched turned to gold, the lucky fellow. Everything I touch turns to raspberry jello. Today I touched the kitchen wall. Squish. I went and punched my brother Paul. Splish. I tried to fix my bike last week. Sploosh. I kissed my mother on the cheek. Gloosh. I got into my overshoes. Squoosh. I tried to read the evening news. Smoosh. I sat down in the easy chair. Sploosh. Tried to comb my wavy hair. Shlush. I took a dive into the sea. Gloosh. Would you like to shake hands with me? Skloosh. Homework machine. The homework machine. Oh, the homework machine. most perfect contraption that's ever been seen. Just put in your homework, then drop in a dime. Snap on the switch, and in 10 seconds' time, your homework comes out quick and clean as can be. Here it is. 9 plus 4? The answer is 3. 3? Oh, me. I guess it's not as perfect as I thought it would be. Let's see. Wild strawberries. Are wild strawberries really wild? Will they scratch an adult? Will they snap at a child? Should you pet them or let them run free where they roam? Could they ever relax in a steam-heated home? Can they be trained not to growl at the guests? Will a litter box work, or would they leave a mess? Can we make them a cowberry, herding the cows, or maybe a muleberry, pulling the plows, or maybe a huntberry, chasing the grouse, or maybe a watchberry, guarding the house? And though they may curl up at your feet, oh, so sweetly, can you ever feel that you trust them completely? Or should we make a pet out of something less scary, like the domestic prune or the imported cherry? Anyhow, you've been warned, and I will not be blamed if your wild strawberry cannot be tamed. The next poem, How to Make a Swing with No Rope or Board or Nails. First, grow a mustache 100 inches long, then loop it over a hickory limb. Make sure the limb is strong. Now pull yourself up off the ground and wait until the spring, then swing. All right, I'm going to read a couple more, and then I'm going to have to say goodbye for tonight. And I will read again tomorrow. So let's see. I want to end with some of my favorites. Probably should have bookmarked these. I wasn't sure how long this was going to take. I hope you're enjoying this. Let's see. Oh, there's so many wonderful poems in here. Let's see. How about this one? Ticklish Tom. Did you hear about Ticklish Tom? He got tickled by his mom. Wiggled and giggled and fell on the floor. Laughed and rolled right out the door. All the way to school. And then he got tickled by his friends. Laughed till he fell off his stool. Laughed and rolled right out of school. Down the stairs and finally stopped till he got tickled by a cop. And all the more he kept giggling, and all the more the folks kept tickling, he shrieked and screamed and rolled around, laughed his way right out of town. Through the country, down the road, he got tickled by a toad. Past the mountains, across the plain, tickled by the falling rain. Tickled by the soft brown grass, tickled by the clouds that passed. Giggling, rolling on his back, he rolled on the railroad track. Rumble, rumble, whistle, roar. Tom ain't ticklish anymore. All right, I'm going to read one more poem. I was hoping I could find my favorite one, but let's see. I know it's in this book, too. All right, I'll read this one. It's not my favorite one, but maybe it's not this book that I was thinking of. It could have been the other one I was thinking of. Little Abigail and the Beautiful Pony. There was a girl named Abigail who was taking a drive through the country with her parents when she spied a beautiful sad-eyed gray and white pony, and next to it was a sign that said, "For sale, cheap." "Oh," said Abigail, "may I have that pony? May I please?" And her parents said, "No, you may not." And Abigail said, "But I must have that pony." And her parents said, "Well, you can't have that pony, but you can have a nice butter pecan ice cream cone when we get home." And Abigail said, "I don't want a butter pecan ice cream cone. I want that pony. I must have that pony. And her parents said, be quiet and stop nagging. You're not getting that pony. And Abigail began to cry and said, if I don't get that pony, I'll die. And her parents said, you won't die. No child has ever died yet from not getting a pony. And Abigail felt so bad that when they got home, she went to bed and she couldn't eat and she couldn't sleep. And her heart was broken. And she did die, all because of a pony that her parents wouldn't buy. This is a good story to read to your folks when they won't buy you something you want. Not really. Shel Silverstein's poems are quite funny. I hope you enjoyed this. I am going to search out some books tomorrow, and I will read something to you again tomorrow. I miss you guys. I hope you're enjoying being home with your family and friends. And again next time. I'll see you later. Bye.